Hello, everyone. Welcome to the InnoApps webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about onboarding and how to make the best first impression. Just a little bit about quick little housekeeping here. If you have any questions, please feel free to bring up the webinar window that you see and type in the questions. And at the end of our session here, we've reserved about 5 minutes to take some questions from the audience. My name is Shuba Shinoy. I'm the Talent Cloud Team Lead. I oversee the talent acquisition, recruiting, onboarding, social sourcing, and learn modules. A little bit about myself. My background is specifically in human resources. I started my career as an HR analyst and then moved more specifically into talent acquisition. I have been on the receiving side where I implemented for a company the Oracle products, including the talent acquisition, recruiting, onboarding. And now I am on the implementation side where I work with clients such as yourselves to help design processes and help figure out best practices and walk you through from the beginning all the way to the end of an implementation cycle. Today's agenda looks a little bit something like this. We'll talk about a company overview, give you an understanding of who is InnoApps, what we do, how we began, and where we are current state. And then, of course, talk about the main topic and the reason for this webinar, which is the onboarding and why it is important for organizations. And then talk about what does good look like when it comes to an onboarding process or an onboarding steps, and what we recommend that companies follow sort of a set of rules that we have and see how we can get organizations into that set. And then finally, conclusion, and as I mentioned, questions. If you'd like to ask questions ahead of time, please feel free to type that in as we go through. So about InnoApps, we are a platinum partner. We're an Oracle platinum partner, rather. You can see that we started in 2006, so 11 years ago. Started by Andy Bird, who's our CEO, and we've gone through quite a bit of growth. We're about 300 plus staff globally. I'm based out of our US offices. So we have an office in Houston, Texas. We also have 4 offices in the UK region, which is London, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and Derby. And we also have offices in Dubai. And our offshore team is based out of our Kuala Lumpur location. And we also have our Singapore offices as well. We're very proud to announce that we won the 2016 Oracle Specialized Partner of the Year Award. What that essentially translates to is winning the Best Picture in Oscar. So we're quite proud of that. Our CEO was on hand to receive the award late last year, along with our other executives. So here is a sample of some of our clients who have implemented Oracle Cloud. These are clients who might have gone from another Oracle product and we move them into the cloud, maybe an on-premises into the cloud. And you'll also see that InnoApps is listed here, and that's because as Oracle, we're not just Oracle Platinum partners, but we also use Oracle products and Oracle applications in-house. So our main topic today, as I mentioned, talks about onboarding. So I wanted to give everybody an understanding or what is onboarding and kind of where it falls into the workflow. So you see that in the beginning here, a candidate has a successful job interview. So they've applied in your career section, gone through the application, answered any pre-screening questions you might have. A recruiter picked up the phone, gave your applicant a call. Maybe they came in for some in-person interviews, and they had a successful job interview. You can even conduct HR checks within the system or outside the system, depending on your business process. And when I say HR checks, it might be checking their national ID number to ensure that they're authorized to work in the appropriate country. It could also mean conducting drug testing, conducting background checks, conducting background work checks, as well as education, depending on what's needed for that job and for your organization. And then an offer is made, the offer is accepted, and that's when onboarding begins. So these are folks who are ready to join your company, and you want to give them a series of tasks to complete prior to walking in on day one. So why is the onboarding process, and why is that so important? These are some of the, aside from, of course, giving your new hire that experience of welcoming them into your organization, it's also important because it's a centralized tracking system. I'll be conducting a demo in a few minutes here so you can see what I mean by centralized tracking system. Compliance and audit. Human resources is subjected to as rigorous a compliance and audit as any other team or any other department within every organization, if not more. It reduces administrative cost, and what I mean by that is if you're currently mailing, if you're using FedEx or UPS or Postal Service to mail these probably very heavy packages, very large packages to new hires, expecting them to complete it and then maybe bringing it back with them on day one or mailing it back to you depending on if they're in a different location than where human resources located, etc. So it's really reducing administrative costs and also making it user-friendly for your new hires, where they're able to, at the click of a button, maybe use their tablet or use their mobile device, handheld device, laptop. So really making it user-friendly, and also accelerating productivity for your HR department and also for your new hires. You're really trying to keep them engaged. As soon as they accept an offer, send them out the onboarding paperwork online, ask them to complete it, so they're still engaged. They're still excited to see what sort of the next steps are and get ready for day one activities. And then finally, as I said, that experience and engagement to ensure that you're constantly in touch with them, be it your HR team, your IT team, phone, even hiring managers. Let your hiring managers know, okay, so-and-so accepted, John Smith is accepted, he's ready to start. Why don't you pick up the phone and give him a call? You can send reminders out to your line managers as well. So I talked about earlier on what does good look like. So some of the components of a successful onboarding process. I have clients ask me all the time, and there's some few key rules that I like to follow. The thing to remember about onboarding is it's a blank slate. You do not receive any type of pre-built forms and pre-built packages. Each organization can really customize how they want their onboarding to look. And what that means for me, someone on the technical side, is I have to build out every field, every form, and then link them together. And it's kind of like building blocks. You set the base first, which would be like a good welcome message and saying, thank you for accepting our offer. Please go ahead and complete a series of tasks. You can also assign tasks internally to your HR department and your IT department. Maybe you want to send an email to payroll to say, John Smith is starting on this date. Here's the name of his hiring manager, and give them that information to enter their info into their payroll system as well. And the other nice thing is collecting these and making into e-signatures. A lot of times clients are quite happy to do away with sort of a wet signature, and collect any signature, be it an acknowledgement to say, yes, I read your company policy, yes, I read your IT policy, yes, I read my dress code, and just let them know that these are sort of series of things you kind of want to have them do ahead of time. And then, of course, tracking the onboarding tasks. Your HR team or your HR hub has the opportunity to track all of this online in a centralized tracking system, very similar to when an applicant applied for a job and they're able to kind of track everything that's happening with that candidate. You can now track all of that with your new hire. And the last piece is work eligibility. It's very important. One of the neat things is you can integrate I-9 verification within the onboarding module. I-9 is very important for our U.S. Clients that operate in the United States, but in the UK there might be some other DBS check forms and other Her Majesty forms that might come up, and of course, and national or internationally, I'm sure there's series of checks Human Resources has to do to verify eligibility of work, and you have the ability to collect all that information at this time as well. This graphic here just kind of talks about, an applicant is hired, the new hire forms are automatically assigned, the new hire completes the paperwork online. You can even have hiring managers approve a paperwork. You can direct it to either hiring managers to HR, depending on what your process dictates. And then, of course, finally, onboard the new hire. When I say onboard, that's creating their employee ID in your core HR system, your employee new hire record. So I talked about quickly demonstrating to give everybody, I'm very visual, I'm sure a lot of you guys are. So I wanted to take a quick pause here in my sharing and switch screens so that I'm able to bring up an idea of what, as I said, I talked about, what does good look like. So I wanted to make sure I share with you all the idea of what a good system or what a good process should look like. Let me share my screen back up here. Sorry, I have a system that doesn't want to listen to me. Okay, so here is a test applicant that I've created for the purposes of this demo to show you sort of all the information that gets captured during the application process. So a new hire essentially just goes on to a career section such as this, logs in, reads a job, applies for it. The whole employee or the whole self-service thing has become very common nowadays. Everyone's quite comfortable going online, applying for jobs. So you can really have that centralized location. So what you see here is a career section for me, applicant, to be able to apply for a job and kind of maintain all of my information here for my company. And the screen that you see here is me as an HR individual for an organization where I'm capturing all the information as well. So what I'm going to do is, for the sake of this demo, I wanted to show you guys what that onboarding process will look like and how easy it is to go ahead and start a process. So HR, as I said, maybe got the offer, they accepted the offer. I'm just going to go into more actions here and say start onboarding process. Sorry, my screen's, I think I just need to decrease. So what the system's doing now is I've told the system as an HR individual to go ahead and kick off an onboarding process for this new hire, James Bond, who I have said can go ahead and complete some onboarding forms. I'm now going into the career section, and I'm now wearing the applicant James Bond hat, and I'm going to log in. First, and again, this is all test information, just some username and passwords for the sake of the demo. And you'll see that there's a task tab here. So I simply click on the task tab and I can start my onboarding process. There might be communication that's happened in the background, you know, kind of outside the system via phone. Just to say, James, you know, please look out for an email from us. Thank you so much for accepting our offer. You're going to be receiving an email, and go ahead and log in and complete all the forms like as directed in the instructions. So there's a quick little welcome email. I talked about best practice. There should always be a welcome email just to give them notes, just to give your new hires instructions on what to expect. And I just have some sample information here about our organization, but you can say, thank you for accepting, please log in, etc. And as you can see, I'm already logged in here. I'm going to click on complete. And that'll take me to the next step. You'll see there's some pre-populated information that I can pull from the recruiting side. So if I had asked James to answer some of these questions ahead of time, you can see that it automatically is able to pull through. And again, for the sake of the demo, I've entered in some sample information so you can see. This is editable. And at this point, you can decide what you want to capture, if it being EEO information, if you want to ask about their race, or in this case, marital status or emergency contact information. A lot of my clients shy away from asking for social and national ID information in the initial application process, but now that they've accepted the offer, you can surely ask that at this point. That same goes for date of birth. So think of onboarding really as a tool to help you capture sort of that key information to help drive your new hire data. That's going to be in your core HR system. So I've completed everything here. I'm going to click on submit. And at this time, I'm asking for references. If you want to be more specific, let them know, please ensure that it's professional references. As I talked about building these fields out, you can see that there's individual fields listed here. And from a technical aspect, we have to build those out. I can click on add, and I can add an extra row here, enter the information, I can delete. It's really up to your organization and how many you need, and we can specify that when we collect that information from your new hire. I'm going to click on submit here. Next, I talked about routing information to payroll. That seems to be very important for a lot of our clients, is having payroll notified ahead of time. We don't want to notify payroll on day one, hey, someone started. You really want to give payroll a notification a week, 2 weeks in advance to say so-and-so is coming in, and this is their bank routing information. So I can route this directly into to your payroll team. And you'll see it's just basic information: institution, pay, transit, number, folio. I'm going to click on submit here. Just wanted to show you guys how easy it is just to collect this information. I also talked about if you wanted to add acknowledgments and if you wanted to add some files to upload for your new hires, you have the ability to do that as well. This is just a brief onboarding process just to give you a sample of what it is the onboarding system can do for you. And at this point, just a quick little, thank you so much or congratulations, you've completed your onboarding new hire process. We thank you and look forward to you joining our team, and then have a little email for them. We can always send them an email directly to their inbox as well with the same message. You could even include, parking information or driving instructions. I'm going to go ahead and click complete here. And they just get a little information that says, you have no more tasks to be compliant. The task tab is now gone. So I, as James Bond, have completed. So I'm just going to click on sign out here. And he's done. The recruiter receives a notification to say directly into their inbox to say James has completed their onboarding process. So what I want to do now is show you how easy it is to monitor that. I talked about having a centralized location to track your applicant's information, any type of attachments, files, but also track onboarding and what's happening with that. So I just went from home, I clicked on onboarding transitions. That's the name of it. That's what Oracle calls their product. And I'm just going to find James here. So I just said, show me everything. You could even refine it by everyone that's completed and just refresh. You have the ability to see, well, who's currently in progress. Right now I don't have any sample employees in progress. I'm just going to look up James here. I'm going to say complete. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up James. You can see that he's 100% complete. He's completed his e-offer. I talked about how you can collect e-offer and contract information online as well. We can build those out and you can collect it via e-signature. So I'm going to open up James's onboarding process that I just demoed to you. And you'll see that all the information we asked for, he has completed it. I also wanted to show you what that direct deposit form looks like. So I'm just going to click on direct deposit and click here. And you'll see that the institution name is here. What was a paid distribution, the transit number. You have the ability to print it, and you can even export it as a PDF and share it with the team. You can run reports based on all of this. There's something called Oracle Business Intelligence, where you're able to run as many reports as you need based on every single field in the talent acquisition cloud modules. So that's pretty neat as well, and you can share that. You can schedule it daily, weekly, hourly, as you choose as well. And that's something we help set up those reports as well. So that's sort of onboarding, as I said, overview. I didn't want to get too in depth. We have very little time here together, but I wanted to give you a sample of what that looks like. Let me bring my presentation back up here and talk about, we do have upcoming HR webinars. We have talent management best practice, workforce planning best practice, and then what should you know about HR Cloud and how you can get there. I'm sure that's very important for a lot of you folks that want to know about cloud and sort of this new exciting cloud buzzword everybody seems to be talking about. We can surely help help understand what that is and see how we can help your organization make that transition. You also see that we're going to be attending the Modern Business Experience in London. So for all of everyone on the call here that's interested in going, and please share it with your colleagues. You'll see NOAPS representatives there as well. Feel free to stop by and talk to us and have a conversation. That brings us to the Q&A part of our conversation here. I still have Phil here, but it's just me. So I'll go ahead and take your questions. Let me go ahead and pause my screen so that I can read any questions and so one of the questions is, the cloud, and the question is, the skin, meaning the UI, looks very different than it does on HCM, which is core HR. Please do bear in mind that anything talent acquisition related will look slightly different because it sits right outside of the HCM, your core HR module, and that's because this has everything to do with recruiting and onboarding. And this is not not everyone that's going to apply for a job will be an employee with your organization, and that's why you see that the skin looks slightly different, because a talent acquisition there is an integration for it, and that's the reason it looks different. And I apologize if I confused anyone on the switching of screens because I was wearing a couple of hats. I'm being the presenter, your HR team, as well as the applicant who wants to come work for your organization. So just wanted to give you a sampling of all the different roles. And is the system ADP compatible? Now, again, I talk about there being your core HR system that does integrate with ADP or any other payroll system you might have. Here at InnoApps, we have quite a bit of experience in integrating with several third-party vendors. So we'll certainly be in touch with you to help you understand what integrations look like to include, any payroll ADP type roles. So thank you everybody for your time. Hope you found this to be beneficial. And as I said, please look for an email from us following up with everyone to talk about sort of upcoming and any other webinars you might find. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.